Okay, so we are back here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 Simulator, and we're going to get back into some landing challenges. I had a really good time in the previous episode doing my best to land. We had some interesting challenges. The first one being in a Cessna 208 Grand Caravan trying to land in Costa Rica in this little airstrip right by the Pacific Ocean. That was tough. Took me a few tries, could barely find the darn thing in the first place, but we eventually found it. I think I got myself an A finally on that one. The second one was landing in a Cessna Citation CJ4 business jet, a very, very cool plane in Aspen. Took me a while. We had cloud layers basically covering, it was a canopy, right? It was basically covering any sight of the town, the airport. It was dusk, I believe, basically almost dark outside, and that one was super hard. I would have been fired immediately from any position of piloting around a CEO or some sort of rich family because that was harrowing, to say the least. And then finally, much to my surprise and delight, we landed an Airbus A320 Neo. Where was it? Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to look up where it was. I can't remember. But it was tough, man. So let's go to the landing challenges here. It was an epic landing challenge. And it was this one here. The Kingdom of Bhutan. I don't even know where that is. Somewhere in Asia. Paro. This was a crazy landing, and we managed to nail it on the first try. I shouldn't say nail it. We got an A rating. The way this simulator judges your landings is out of a score of 2 million. We happened, if once you get a million or more, you get an A. I think I got a million. What was it? A million. I don't think it shows me here. Let me see. 1,065,456 points on the first try, which I was super happy about because historically for me in this simulator, the Airbus challenges are super tough. The Airbus tends to load in very strangely. Like I don't know. It seems like it's a little bit glitchy or something like that, but that was tough, but we managed to nail it right away. If I look at my past record here, if we go to the famous portion of the landing challenges, so all like the famous airports, like this one in Iceland just loaded in very strangely. Everything was glitchy, and I don't know. I feel like the quality control maybe isn't top notch with all of these challenges here. Same with the JFK one. The airliners tend to be more demanding, which makes sense considering their complexity. But yeah, the Australian one, we got a B from that. Rio de Janeiro, we got a C. I'm tempted to try some of these again in the Airbus, but maybe we'll come back to that. Maybe we'll round off the stream by trying some of those later on. In the meantime, we still have some epic challenges to do. Just pull up the stream here. Hopefully everyone's doing well. And if you're watching post facto, welcome. Hopefully I can get a like and a subscribe from you guys if you're enjoying the stuff. If not, be gone. Totally okay. I think we should start off with something like Lukla. So Lukla is an airport in Nepal, and if I'm not mistaken, it is the base camp, essentially. A lot of people that are going to hike Mount Everest, climb Mount Everest, I should say, land at Lukla Airport in Nepal because of its proximity to Everest. I think we should hop into this one, give this one a try. This is in the Grand Caravan again, which was the first plane that we used on a stream yesterday where we landed in Costa Rica. So let's see here. Tenzing Hillary Airport is a small but popular airfield in eastern Nepal, drawing countless visitors each year on a quest to reach Mount Everest Base Camp. And Edmund Hillary, Sir Edmund Hillary, I believe the namesake of this airport here, or at least half of it, was the first person to summit Mount Everest, at least on record. For pilots, the airport is one of the world's most difficult landing spots with high winds, cloud cover, and no go-around option. Fantastic. And a short, sloped runway that ends unforgivingly at a large stone wall. Awesome. So everyone's probably going to kick the bucket on this one here. But we'll hop in. Let's give it a try. And the altitude really kills the performance of the plane. So it's much harder to, throttle out of a potential stall, etc., etc. 10,212 feet is the elevation of the air where we're starting off, it looks like. Let's hop into it. Let's see what we can do. Give it a try. Why not? Okay, so 95 knots, 85 knots, 75 knots. So we're bringing it down by increments of 10 as we make our sort of right-hand turn. Got about 7 knots of wind coming. It's a headwind, so that's okay. All right, and there's the Grand Caravan. Looks like Agent Smith morphed into the pilot seat there. Let's just go ahead and hop into the cockpit here and see what's going on. So we got some clouds hanging about. Hopefully that doesn't obstruct our vision too much. We can get rid of the yoke. What's our speed right now? 92 knots-ish. Just want to have a look. I'd like to hop into this plane at another time and learn more about the controls and everything. It looks like we have one more notch of flaps at least here. Ooh boy. And I have no idea where the airstrip is. It should be through these clouds to the right. Hopefully we should see the runway on the right hand side. Just slightly to the right, kind of like right around here, I believe. So let's start banking right. Yep, there's the runway. Okay, runway in sight. That's obviously a very good thing. If you guys watched the last stream, the Aspen landing was harrowing and very difficult because of the canopy-like cloud layer in Aspen. So unfortunately, the CEO of Pfizer that I was, and his mistress that I was flying around that day, didn't make it out alive. They were planning on skiing, but, good riddance. Anyway, all right, so there's the runway. Let's put in another notch of flaps. Try and lower the speed quite a bit. Nose is coming up due to the lift and drag caused by the last notch of flaps. Let's bring our power back up here just a tad as well. And now we'll dial back the power. We are not in line whatsoever. And again, the altitude, provided Microsoft has it down. Oh, this is bad. This might be really bad. Well, chat, you thought that attempting to climb Mount Everest was going to be the biggest threat to your mortality. Little did you know, there's this guy flying around, unlicensed, unsanctioned. His name's Taylor, and he's flying this Grand Caravan around Nepal. You should have checked his credentials before you got in the plane with him. That's what you should have done. Okay, what did we do wrong there? Well, I went throttle idle way too early. We are going to be landing uphill, so that should give us a little relief when it comes to slowing the plane down after we touch down. Let's try that again. Something we would not be able to do in reality, of course. But look at this, man. Look at the scenery here. Beautiful. And I'm wondering, is this Everest to the right? Clouds are obviously obstructing all of the views here, but what a sight to behold, man. And I'm so lucky and fortunate to have been able to get this graphics card because it just looks beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at all this. Okay, let's focus. So we know that we kind of started our right turn a little bit early on the first try. So let's hold out a little bit and see if we can get a little more in line with the runway first. This airport is so deceiving because you might think that you need to pull up and that you're low, but it's almost like you're landing straight and level in a way because you're going to be landing going uphill. All right, so I'm going to start the right turn here. Okay, I'm feeling better about this one. Let's put in that last notch of flaps there. Let's dial back the throttle a tad, not all the way. Let's try and get level. There's that 7-knot headwind. Let's go right rudder, try and level out here. Okay, getting close to stall speed. That's actually good since we're pretty close to the runway.
500.
Oh my. Oh no. And we're all gonna die again. Okay. Is everyone alive back there? Everyone alive? And you know what we don't want to do? We don't want to stop on this slope. So let's try and get to the top. Let's remove flaps. Pushing the yoke forward so that we don't go nose up. Okay. Let's stop here. Brakes. Lukla Airport. You know what? For the second try, it really wasn't good because they're grading this out of 2 million points there, so 158,000 is not so great. But for the second try, the fact that we were able to not crash like we did the first time, I'm pretty content with that. Landing precision was just abysmal. 1 out of 5,000. Not good. No bueno there. Ground roll was okay. Landing smoothness, 912 feet per minute. Not sure what that is, but let's give it a shot again here. What did we do wrong? Well, I had to blast the throttle at the last second. The judgment is difficult on this one. I don't think I need to worry as much about dialing back the throttle. I need to focus more on the speeds and my altitude as it relates to the runway. So let's give this a shot again. We'll probably start bleeding off some of the speed as well by keeping the nose up a tad. Stunning. You know, I think someday I would love to at least visit. I'm not sure I'm up for the task of attempting to climb Mount Everest, but visiting the base camp and maybe just seeing around here. Someone could fly us around. Okay. Alright, so we've got the runway in sight. Everyone good back there? Wow, look at that. I don't think I've looked into the back of this this plane before. Okay, so let's start making our right-hand turn. Yeah, I'm not going to do much with the throttle right now. That's for sure. Okay. Go ahead and put in our last notch of flaps here. That headwind was definitely giving me some issues, so it wasn't a headwind at this point. I suppose it's a crosswind, 7 knots. Dial back the throttle a tad, smidge. Feeling better about this one. I wonder if people live up here permanently. I bet they do. Okay. Okay, dialing back the throttle completely. Power idle.
500.
And that was, well, I'm happy that at least we made it onto the runway. Alright, let's get the power back up, get the flaps off, and not fall back here. Unless it'll just let us stop. Maybe we'll get a better grade if we just stop here without falling. Yeah. There's our best score. I'm determined. I'm determined, chat. We're gonna do this. Let's get back in here. I wonder how many people have died attempting to climb Everest. Hey Siri, how many people have died attempting to climb Mount Everest? Holy mackerel. 330 people have died attempting to reach or return from the summit of Mount Everest. Good gracious. 330 people. Yeah, that's a no-go for me. I'll just watch a documentary on it on the OLED TV and be perfectly content. Am I adventurous? Sure. I like traveling, I like doing things. But that's not it for me. That just doesn't do it for me. It would be a massive accomplishment and something to be extremely proud of, considering how many people have done it in total. Hey Siri, how many people have summited Mount Everest in total? 11,346 summit ascents by 6,000 people. Wow, so quite a few people have done it twice. At least. That's awesome. Alright. So 6,000 and change is how many people have summited Mount Everest. So a small amount of people. I would have thought it would have been less, to be honest with you, considering how friggin' difficult it seems. But okay. Focusing on the landing here. Let's go full flaps. Power to idle. Let's see how this looks here. Okay, our speed is reducing way too fast here. Let's bring the speed back up a tad.
500.
Okay.
Stall.
Okay, not extremely level was that landing. However, I'm kind of happy with the position that we landed on. There we go. Okay, we're improving here. Not bad. I want to hop into this Grand Caravan at some point in real life, for sure. But in the sim, just so I can learn more about how to operate it. Maybe watch a video or two about, some of the ideal landing speeds and takeoff speeds, depending on weight and balance. Try and learn a little bit more about how the plane actually flies. Okay, so we want to be at 75 knots is what it's looking like when we get closer to landing. So we don't necessarily need to get close to that stall speed that we were looking at, which seemed to be, what was it, around 60 knots. Reason for that is clearly because it is an uphill sloped runway. So let's try this again here. Maybe we can try and avoid the stall warning altogether. We may not even need the last notch of flaps. Let's see. We're at 96 knots. Let's go nose up a tad. Just to bleed some of that airspeed off. Beautiful clouds just low in the valley here, all the way up at 10,000 feet elevation. Really is quite stunning. And hats off to Asobo, I think is the name of the studio that made this game, Microsoft Flight Simulator. I mean, just the fact that you can pull real-time data from the rest of the world, and it uses, Bing and Bing Maps or something. I don't know what it is. It's constantly pulling data. And they've done a really fantastic job with not only doing a pretty good job at emulating flying in a plane, especially if you're going to call it a simulator, but just making it aesthetically pleasing and enjoyable. Okay, so let's go flaps. Let's use that last notch. Maybe we won't worry so much about the throttle here. Okay. Let's go right rudder. Try and get the plane in line. Almost slipping here. Okay, we are going to dial back the throttle quite a bit. Yeah. Okay. Relatively smooth landing. Definitely not the best. I think the previous one was better. We were off to the right as well. Hopefully we can get up here. Let's hit the brakes, remove the flaps, and see what score they gave us. A B. Yeah, wasn't as good as the last one. But we're getting better every time, chat. That's the point. Gotta be determined. Coming for that A. Get that A. Alright, so we're going to hop back in. 75 knots is what we're looking for on that final approach there. Okay. If anyone has any recommendations, feel free to leave them as well. Okay, let's see here. I wonder what it would be like dealing with the elevation here. I was watching a video on the 787 Dreamliner, the Boeing airliner. One thing I learned is that the composite that it's made out of allows more pressurization than in a normal aluminum airliner. What that means is the effect of altitude can be lessened quite dramatically, lowered. It's pretty cool. The point of that is to reduce the effects of things like jet lag. The Dreamliner is a pretty amazing plane. If you guys get the chance, I think there's a YouTube channel called Real Engineering, something like that. If you just search on YouTube 787 Dreamliner, there's one video that should pop up talking about the engineering behind that plane. It's pretty amazing. But unfortunately, Boeing has kind of dropped the ball recently with the, or at least there's been a lot of controversy with the 737 MAX. Okay, so we're coming in, we got full flaps. We're at 75 knots, which is what we wanted. Let's see if I can pull up here. Float down. Okay, we did bounce there, and we didn't get both wheels down at the same time. But I'm not entirely disappointed with that. I think that might have been our best one yet. At least for the landing smoothness. Let's get up to the top here. I don't know, is it grading? That wasn't our best. We were a notch off, a hair off, 1,000 points off from our best. I wonder how it's grading it, because in real life, obviously you want to get the plane up the hill. You don't want to stop on that slope. Your nose might go up. But part of the grading in this simulator is, you know, how far you travel on the runway after you land. So I believe that's ground roll, if I'm not mistaken. 31 feet. I don't know. Some of these are screwy, but we're going to give it a shot. I'm coming for that A. I want that A+. Let's go. It is kind of cool how they do really support the game by releasing more and more landing challenges. You know, they're updating it constantly, which is awesome. Still a little bit stuffy, getting over a allergic fit. Okay. What are we doing wrong? Well, the crosswind is definitely a factor. I think it's just correcting what the crosswind is doing to us with the rudder. Just making sure we get on the center line a little bit faster. At least lined up with the center line. In line with the line. So let's maybe not start our right-hand turn as quickly so we can get lined up. Keeping an eye on this mountain here, obviously. And our proximity to it. Okay, now I think we can start our right-hand turn. I'm liking this a lot more. I'm wondering, I would love to meet someone who's landed here. Talk about the experience. I'm gonna watch a video actually after this. See what the landing is like. All right, so we got flaps in. We're definitely a little more in line with the runway here than we were previously. There's that crosswind coming into play. So we're gonna go left ailerons and right rudder. Try and even out here. Let's dump the throttle.
500.
Okay. Alright, I think that was our best one yet. I really do. Let's get those, remove those flaps. Let's get all the way to the top here. And hit the brakes. Welcome to Lukla. Really? Really? What? You know what? I was able to stop on the slope going uphill previously. I'm going to try that again. I was able to stop without putting the nose up in the air and rolling back down. So, let's try that again. How was that worse than... Man. And that the highest scoring B grade that we got was so close to 1,000,000. So close to an A. We cannot stop until we get the A on this one. Let's go. Come on, baby. Okay, back in it here. We back. I'm curious to learn about the native people of this part of the world, Nepal, you know. I believe it's mostly Buddhists that live in Nepal. Could be mistaken. But I'd be curious to learn about the native people who've lived up in these mountains, the Himalaya, for decades and generations. Decades, centuries, generations. It'd be fascinating. Mountain tribes. Alright, so let's make a right-hand turn here. Let's get the nose up a tad, lose a little bit of airspeed. I know we can get this A. I know we can get it. Alright, so once we're straight with the runway, this is good enough. I'm going to go ahead and get that last notch of flaps down. Airspeed's coming down. Good, good, good. Should be feeling that crosswind. Let's try and correct ASAP. Okay. Okay. Let's kill the throttle.
500.
And let's stop here. This should increase our grade. I'm feeling halfway decent about that. Let's hope the plane doesn't roll back. Yes! Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Oof. I think that was our 5th try. 5th or 6th try. Lukla, man. What an incredible place. An incredible airport. Props to all the people who have summited Mount Everest. What an incredible feat. You must have incredibly sore feet after that. Give me 5 quick facts about Nepal and the Himalayas. Nepal is home to Mount Everest, the world's tallest peak, standing at 8,848 meters, 29,029 feet above sea level. The Himalayas, spanning across Nepal, are the highest mountain range in the world, stretching over 1,500 miles. And Nepal is culturally diverse, with over 120 ethnic groups and languages spoken. Wow! Wow! Contributing to its rich cultural heritage. Kathmandu, Nepal's capital, is a bustling city filled with ancient temples, vibrant markets, and a mix of traditional and modern architecture. And the Himalayas play a crucial role in regulating the region's climate and are the source of major rivers like the Ganges and the Indus. Very cool. Give me some quick facts about native people of the Himalaya, and Nepal's religion and culture. ChatGPT is an excellent resource to get some of this stuff, by the way, guys. Here are some quick facts. The native people of the Himalayas, including Nepal, belong to various ethnic groups such as the Sherpa. Yep, we've heard about the Sherpas. Tamang, Gurung, Takali, each with its own unique culture, language, and traditions. Interesting. Nepal is predominantly Hindu. Interesting. Okay. Hinduism being the major religion practiced by around 81% of the population. Buddhism is also widely practiced, particularly in regions like the Kathmandu Valley and the Himalayan regions. Okay. Nepali culture is deeply influenced by Hindu and Buddhist traditions, reflected in festivals like the Dashain, Tihar, and Buddha Jayanti, celebrated with colorful rituals, music, and dance. Very cool. The cuisine of Nepal is diverse, with dishes like dal bhat, lentils and rice, momos, dumplings, and sel roti, rice flour bread, being popular staples. Traditional attire include garments like the Dhaka topi, a type of hat, the Dora Sarawal, Suruwal, a type of dress worn by men. Interesting. They're already on the wokeness front over there in Nepal. Way ahead of you. Columbia University. And the sari and kurta for women, often adorned with intricate embroidery and designs. Very cool. Well, sorry, not sorry, because Nepal seems pretty freaking rad. And we got our A, ladies and gentlemen. Super excited. That was awesome. Let's go back and see what else we can conquer. Okay. So I did mention Bugalaga in the last episode. I wonder, yeah, we got to try something new. You know, I've tried anything you see a grade on. I would like to try and get an A on all of these at some point if possible, but for now, I think the most interesting thing to do is to try some new ones here. So we could try this Saba, the Caribbean Netherlands. That looks to be a King Air, I believe, which is a pretty fancy prop plane, dual engine. We could try Norway, which I think I'm leaning towards because I downloaded the Norway update for this game, for the simulator, and the update should include increased quality of the scenery and all that stuff. I wonder if it applies to the landing challenge here. But let's give this one a shot. And I think we might be able to round out the stream with an attempted landing in an Airbus again. Okay, so we're starting off airborne in 3,000 feet. We are in Rosvoll. Mo I Rana Airport, ENRA, is a single runway regional facility that serves the northern Norwegian city of Mo I Rana. Interesting. The city is located a few miles south of the Arctic Circle. Okay, so we're way up there. At the head of the Renfjord, just inland of the Norwegian Sea. The airport lies 5 miles northeast of the city along the banks of the Langvasaga River in the village of Rosvoll. The 2,858-foot-long runway trends northwest-southeast and is bounded on both ends by stands of trees. You can see that here. The Langvasaga River skirts the runway's western periphery and wraps around its northern end. The airport is surrounded by mountains that rise thousands of feet above sea level, the highest being those to its north and west. While providing a spectacular backdrop, these peaks also cause turbulence and require pilots to make tight turns close to the runway for final approaches. For this landing challenge, fly east-northeast over the city of Mo i Rana, whatever that is. Then follow the path of the Ranelva River. Gain a visual on the confluence of the Ranelva and Langvasaga rivers to the northeast. That's my Norwegian accent. Turn on a final approach that flies just to the northeast of the confluence of the two rivers, and then touch down on runway 31. Woo! Okay. All right. This is concerning because the top score in the world for this landing challenge is 1.8 million out of 2 million. If you look at some of the other top scores, they're way closer to 2 million. Now, this could still be relatively new, perhaps, which is why, I don't know. We're going to find out. What that tells me initially is this one's tough. It's tough to get close to perfect on this one, so let's give it a shot. We're going to hop in here. We're in the Grand Caravan Cessna again. Okay, so we're coming in over the city, 100 knots, 90 knots, then 80 knots. 100 knots, 90 knots, 80 knots. And we have a very strong crosswind. Tailwind coming in, 22 knots. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is going to be tough. Let's give it a shot. We'll do our best, chat. We'll do our best. If anyone's in here, say what's up. Okay. Loading into Norway. Hello. Skål. I am a Viking, a pilot. Sorry, Norwegians, if any Scandinavians are watching. I'm actually a quarter Norwegian, I'm pretty sure, so. Oh, wow. Fantastic. Well, we've got lovely visibility here. Okay, we want 100 knots. I know we're going to be turning left, coming over the city. Holy schnoogans. Are we turning left here? I don't even remember what to do now, chat. I don't even know where the runway is. This is bad. I did not foresee... I didn't know there was going to be this level of visibility. Okay, I think we're going the right way. Straight and then slightly to the right is where the runway is, perhaps. Well, if we're close to the runway, we're definitely going way too fast. Let's try and get back to 100 knots here. See the airspeed indicator there, 125 knots. Trying to keep an eye out for the runway. Is it that way? If it's that way, I'm going to be disappointed. But it's okay. You know, we're trying it for the first time. And yeah, I think it's that way. I'm going to make an executive decision. Hold on to your hats back there. And we're going to make a hard left bank. You guys good? I'm in control, I promise. And I could be way wrong. It looked like on the loading screen it was this way, but maybe we should turn back. Holy moly. Yeah, this looks more like the village. It did say we were supposed to fly over the village. Well, everyone's lost their lunch, but hopefully I can get them on the ground and we'll get them some Pepto-Bismol or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't look to be this way like I thought. Don't worry back there. We're going to be fine. Just looking for the airport, okay? Going to do a barrel roll and a loop-de-loop, and we'll be there in no time, okay? You guys ever felt 6 G's before? Ever felt that? You guys ready? Hold on to your hats. You're not ready? I don't care. We're going anyway. Okay, we just got some sort of warning, which makes total sense because I'm flying this plane like a maniac. This visibility is awful. We're stalling. Let's get the throttle back in. I hear you. I hear you. Okay, so this Grand Caravan stalls obviously at a much higher speed than the 172 that I'm kind of used to. Maybe the airport's up ahead this way, guys? Anyone knows where the airport is in the chat, let me know. Alright, let's see here. Okay, let's go. We need to bring the throttle up quite a bit and gain a little more altitude. We're pretty low. Let's see if I can, if I hit the spacebar, there we go. Some better visibility. Hello, Norway. Please help. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Is it to the right here? This is beautiful, though. Look at this. The home of Santa Claus. Yes. Hope it's not to the left there. Okay, well, this is a good discovery flight. This is good for us to try and figure out where the runway is, for Christ's sake. For the sake of Chris Kringle. Well, at this point, this is just a sightseeing trip with some acrobatics involved. Because I have no idea where the airport is. How are we stalling? Full throttle. Let's go. I think in one of the videos, maybe after so I am doing a series of videos right now, if you guys aren't familiar, where I'm going from New York to London in a Cessna 172 in real time. What I mean by real time is I'm, you know, leaving my computer running and actually doing the flights in the real amount of time that they would take in real life. But I think after London, I'm going to explore Europe. And Norway is definitely a place I'd like to explore, particularly the fjords. This part of Norway is quite far north. Well, I have no idea where the airport is. Let me see. Can I open up the map and will it show us where the runway is? Okay. You know, my initial inklings were correct. We need to make a right. I believe that's the airport, unless I'm way off. Unless where we're supposed to be landing is a little strip, and that is a different runway and airport. Let's see here. Let's make a right. We need to make a hard right here. Props to the people who live here. What are they doing up here? Eating sharks and dolphins and stuff? Yeah, I think I was talking too much on that loading screen. The loading screen is very informative. That gives you a better sense of direction of where you're supposed to go. Okay. I think we're en route now. We're tracking here. No? Okay. If we go through this valley over this lake and make a right, that should be where the airport is. I think this is the Rosnolgogavold, or whatever the river was called. I think that was it. I think I nailed it. I was accurate. I speak Norwegian. It's fine. Alright. Yeah, so if we make a right here, hopefully we'll see the darn thing. This really is quite beautiful, though. Look at this. Yeah, you don't want to crash in that river. You'll be hypothermic and meeting your maker in no time. Okay, let's see here. Okay, and then we're gonna make a right here, and then we should see the airport any second now. Let's see if we can Turn a little bit more and get a better visual. Okay. Airport's there. I don't know if we're making the correct approach. We were supposed to come from the other side. Right now we are facing northeast. Let's get that view changed. Dial back the throttle a tad. Hopefully we're hopefully we're coming from the correct side. I think we might have been supposed to land from the other side. Yeah, we were. Alright, well, we know where the airport is, so let's do a go-around. I don't know if you can even call this a go-around, because we weren't supposed to be on the side at all in the first place. And let's approach it from the other side. Norway, Frozen Hellhole, Cessna Tango Juliet Bravo. Requesting landing from the other side. We're just going to do a quick fly over the airport. Oh no! Overstressed the aircraft. What? Get out of here. How? It didn't like us on that one. It didn't like us on that one, Chad. The game hates me. The game hates me. It does. I know it. Is it because I was making fun of the Norwegian people? Probably. They heard me. Good hearing in Norway. Good hearing. They're known for it. Let's try this again. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull up that map again so I know exactly where we're going as fast as possible. Okay, so there's the airport. We're going straight and we're going to make a left. Straight, make a left, past CVS on the right. Take the 6th train to 116th Street. Alright. I think we're good. So there's the, I suppose you could call that a river. I think we're going to want to be following that. Let's see here. Okay. Yep. And then make a left. Feeling better about this attempt. Especially considering we know where the airport is now. Very important. You guys good? You guys watching a movie? Did you fart, Tom? Did you fart, Tom? I'll have you ejected. Ejected from the plane. Into the Roskolnivor River. Immediately. Immediately, Tom. Do it again. Do it again. See what happens. I'm gonna stink up the whole plane. Not on my watch. This fuel is expensive. Alright. Okay. Hello. Hello, people of Norway. Northern Norway. What do I know about Norway? Well, it's one of four Scandinavian countries, 5 Scandinavian countries, I think. It is cold. There's some beautiful fjords. They eat a lot of seafood. People are good looking often, especially in that part of the world. I'm a quarter Norwegian, like I said. But other than that, I don't know too much more. I think they had, was it the Summer Olympics? I would imagine it would be the Winter Olympics in Bergen. Trondheim. Winter Olympics, for sure. Yeah, other than that, I know it's long and skinny. And right now we're up by the Arctic Circle. Okay, we need to get eyes on the airport. I think it's right here. Yeah. So let's throttle in a little bit so that we're not sinking too much. There's the runway in sight. Altitude 1420. Airspeed 120 knots. Okay. Let's dial in the airspeed. It's get the airspeed a little bit more consistent so we're not dropping it too much quite yet. Let's obviously do our best to avoid crashing into the mountain. Start our left turn here. There's the runway. Let's go flaps. Not sure how many more flaps we have. Let's get our nose down. Oh boy. Yeah, you see that wind? That is gnarly. We're definitely going to need to use left rudder here. Okay, let's dial back the throttle even more. Do we have more flaps? We do. We're good. What was it? 75 knots I think we want to be at here for our landing. But yeah, we're coming in fast here. Can we slip? Can we slip? Okay.
500.
Is our gear down? Christ. What is that caution? Low vacuum. Okay, fixed gear. Fixed gear. Good. Thank goodness. Okay. Landing gear is down. Let's get close to that blue. Stall right onto the runway. Yeah, a little bit harsh there. A little bit harsh there. It took us a while to get to the freaking airport in the first place. I don't know if I like this challenge. It's beautiful. Yeah, we got to see. It's beautiful, but difficult. I'm relentless, though. And I got to give it a shot again. Let's go. Let's go. We know where the airport is now. We have a feeling for the wind. 80 knots on the final there. 100 knots, 90. Okay, so we're going to start dialing back the airspeed slowly but surely. Try and get down from 100 to 80. We're back in the plane here. Whoop. Let's get that high view. I kind of like that. This is better here. Okay. Now let's go full throttle here just so we can speed it up. I mean, it really... pretty friggin' far away from the damn airport. Okay. How many notches of flaps are on this bad boy? Let's see. Which one's flaps? Propeller. I gotta learn more about this. This is interesting. Probably gonna crash. Yep, I'm all over the place. Okay. RPMs are redlining, so let's dial that back just a tad, but I just wanted to speed it up and try and get there faster. I mean, I wouldn't do this in real life, but this is one of the landing challenges that really puts you quite far out from the airport. It takes like 10 minutes to get there. It's more of a patience challenge. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, airspeed is definitely gaining quite a bit. You see here, I think some people call that like the barber pole on the airspeed indicator there. That is overspeed. You're going too fast for the airplane's capabilities at that point. Definitely want to avoid that. I think we're going down the correct river. Just beyond this hill there should be the airport, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a look at our map again. What? No, it's over here. Okay. Thought that was it for a second. Yeah, following the water. Yeah, these are presumably snow clouds. I mean, they come with some pretty high winds. Let's see. I suppose we'll go ahead and try and lower our speed. It's just we're so far, man. Really, it's putting us so far away. We're a lot higher than we were before as well. Oh, there's the airport right there. Okay. I'm going to go throttle idle. And we're going to do a combat landing here. With a very steep nosedive. This is bad. This is really bad. Okay, at least we're losing airspeed dramatically here. Are we losing altitude is the question. Okay, we're in the white portion of the airspeed indicator, so let's go flaps. Let's go all flaps. This is nuts. And something that should never be attempted in real life. So here's our combat landing. I'm going to learn more about that low vacuum warning. If anyone knows, leave a comment. Let me know what the low vacuum is. Alright, so here's our combat landing attempt. Don't try this in real life. We're also going way too fast. Love the accuracy, even though throttle's idle, the propeller being pushed into a spin. Hey! I got some sort of achievement from Xbox there. Dead stick landing. I'll take it. Yeah. Didn't think that that was going to go any better, to be honest, chat. I was just mouthing off. Spouting off at the mouth while trying to find the airport. And we ended up getting up to an elevation of like almost 4,000 feet. Way too high. Way higher than we wanted to be. Then we had to try a combat landing, and it didn't work out very well. So we're going again. We're going to do it again for Norway. For Norway. For my Norwegians. Skål, Norway. I won't do the accent again, I promise. Well, I'm not going to make any guarantees, because it is tempting. It is very fun. Alright. Props to the people who live in this part of the world, man. A brutal climate. But I bet during the summer I mean, I'd like to think that during the summer it lightens up a bit and warms up enough to be pleasant. Okay. We're going. This is the hard part, chat. This is the long part. This is where we have time to think and meditate and wonder, why do we live here? I could be playing volleyball on the beach somewhere. Alright. I can feel it on this one, chat. I can feel it on this one. This is the one where we get an A. Coming for that A. This is the one. Alright. Holding 129 knots. Altitude reducing past 2200. A little bit of a gust there. Sudden gust. And we're focused. Following that river to the left. VFR navigation here. Visual flight rules. You know, they start us off with a cruise position on the throttle there. I suppose that's okay. We are trying to lose airspeed, so let's go nose up a tad more. Airport should be right there. Feeling a lot better about this one. I'm focused. I'm dialed in. You gotta be as a pilot. Definitely feeling the effects of the winds. Plane is being You can push to the left, or to the right, rather. Trying to get eyes on the runway. There it is. You can see the landing lights there. A little more throttle in. There's that wind. This is so cool, though. I know it's just a simulator, but it's so much fun. It's beautiful. Learning, getting a feel of at least the visual aspects of how aircrafts are affected by the elements, the winds, control inputs, obviously. Okay, so there she is. So a little more throttle. It looks like we're getting pretty low here. Okay. Start making a left. And monitor our rudder usage here. Boy. Look at the visual effects of the wind and the presumably snow. Precipitation of some sort. Fine movements, adjusting gently. Let's dial back the throttle a tad here. Flaps. And last notch of flaps. Okay, lowering the throttle.
500.
Throttle to idle. I think that was our best one yet. I don't know if that's an A, though. A C. Still a C? I would have given that a B. Right? Man. I think we're going to move on from this one for now, and I'm going to revisit it in another episode. Why? Because it takes a long time to get to the airport. It's taking I should have put a timer on. It's taking 8 minutes from when we spawn in to get to the airport. The other challenges haven't been like that. So I think we're going to do one more, and then I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to go back to the landing challenges. We will revisit Norway. I'm sorry I made fun of your people so much. I know that's why I'm not getting the A here. Microsoft knows they have investors from Norway. And they don't like it when I disparage their shareholders. So through the internet, they say, do you hear this guy? With a few people watching a stream? It's a big no. We're not giving you an A until you speak highly and nicely and stop mocking. Speak highly and nicely of the Norwegian people and stop mocking them. Now, this one stood out here. I want to end these challenges with some Airbus action. So this is Honduras, a place called Tegucigalpa. Tegucigalpa. Let's hop in here. Now, what makes this challenging? Well, it looks like the elevation is, moderate. Toncontin International Airport is a civil and military airfield located 4 miles from the center of Tegucigalpa. How would they pronounce that? Honduras. I'm not even gonna. I will get booted for extreme racism if I try and pronounce that anything like a Honduran would, so I will not. 4 miles from the center of Tegucigalpa, Honduras, its proximity to rugged mountainous terrain and its short runway make the airport one of the most difficult in the world, especially when inclement weather conditions prevail. Not much more information than that. It looks like Chicken Squad, number one here. He or she got 1,992,000 points. So pretty much close to perfect on that. Let's give it a shot. Let's just give it a shot. Let's have a look at our touchdown point. I think sometimes what I do in the sim is I aim too early, too shallow on the runway. I need to be probably aiming around here and then with the intent on landing there. How does that work? I don't know. Let's give it a shot. All right, so we got a crosswind when we're on our, that's our crosswind leg. So 14 knots, 150 knots, 140 knots, 140 knots is what we want our speed to decrease to. I wonder, let's find out what's challenging about this. Could it be the turn that we're going to have to do here? I don't know. So we're landing on runway 02. Runway's not sloped in any way. Okay, let's hop in. Alright, so let's see if we can get a sight picture of the runway. I think I can see it out there in the distance. Let's definitely start our left turn here. Reduce throttle a tad because our airspeed's increasing. Okay. So we're about 2,000 feet and change, 2,500 feet above the runway. Now we're climbing. That's not good. Let's reduce our throttle. Thought I could see some flashing runway lights. Okay. Dial back the throttle some more. 160 knots, 6,000 feet. And it doesn't look like we are reducing our altitude at all. I can't even see the runway yet. Oh boy. Is that it right here? Holy crime. What a crime. Okay. We're going idle here. Another combat landing. We're not going to be able to make a left in time. Jesus. Let's go flaps. Yeah, this is not gonna happen. Our gear's down. Everyone hold on to your hats. Again. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. Is there a way? Is there a way? Well, that's not the approach that I would want to do, obviously. But something might work out here. Possibly. Way too fast.
500. 400. 300.
Oh boy. Well, we're definitely too fast, but we're gonna give it a go anyway.
100. 650. 20.
And everyone's dead. We're gonna restart that one because that did not work out well. And rest in peace. Requiescat in pace. To all aboard. All 278 souls just trying to make it to Honduras. Sorry. Sorry. No. Now we know where the friggin' airport is. We know where the runway is. God forbid I ever interview to be a commercial airline pilot and they see these videos. This is all for fun, okay? I'm trying to learn a little bit. I would never act this way in real life, I promise you. Please don't dig up these videos and watch them. There is a difference between a simulator and the real world. Alright, so the airport is a lot closer than I thought it was initially. So, as long as we're clear of these mountains here, or hills, what have you, I think we should be good. Let's start making our turn, dial back the throttle. I think it's right here. But I know we can go a little bit further out since we had to make a very narrow turn, which did not work out for us. Is that it right there? I think so. Alright. Let's start our turn here. Airspeed is quite low. I did go throttle idle momentarily. So let's start our turn. We need to get eyes on the runway. There it is. I see the runway.
1,000.
We're very, very close to these hills here. This is crazy. Is this how they actually approach this runway? Some of these people? These pilots? Wild. Okay, we're getting close to stall speed. Let's not do that. Let's introduce some more flaps to the party. Runway in sight. We're definitely low. But hey, this is where Microsoft spawned us, man. This is what they wanted from us. Do we go an extra notch of flaps? Do we have any more flaps? We've exhausted all the flaps, okay. Okay. So we're at the speed we wanted. Let's dial back the throttle so we can keep it there while we go nose down.
1,000.
Gears down. 3 green, no red. Not nearly in line like I'd like to be. Okay, I totally get why this is challenging. I mean, there's just a lot going on here.
400. 300. 200. 100. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
And we're bouncing. And we're going to start that over again, because that did not work out well. I'm determined to get at least a B on this one. Then we can call it a night. 150 knots, 140, 140. We know where the airport is. It is very discreet, the airport. It does not have pronounced lighting by any means whatsoever. This one is tough. I get it. You know, not as many crazy twists and turns and stuff. I'm just wondering what the real approach would look like here. Like, what is the point in coming in from this angle? Why wouldn't you go further out so you can get straight onto the runway earlier? And I think that's what I'm going to do. Because it's not judging me on what I do before I land. So let's see here. Moving to the right to try and get a better angle, try and be more parallel with the runway so we can actually, or just in line with the runway first. I think that's a much better option. And we can do a tight left-hand turn in just a second here. Let's give it a go and start turning now. Almost. Look at those windmills out there. You guys see those? Very cool. Wind turbines. Alright. So make it left. Okay, I think the landing strip's right there. Just keep calling it a landing strip, the runway. Let's have a look at this Airbus. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. What a machine. What a machine. Okay. Alright, so we've gained a crud ton of altitude while I've been spouting off at the mouth about windmills. So that is very bad. Let's see if we can introduce some flaps here and keep our nose down so we can bleed off this altitude. I don't think I've ever been on a plane that has had some sort of, you know, epic landing like this. I mean, let's get the airspeed back up a tad. Landing at JFK is pretty cool, especially if you get the runway that's, I think 2 of the runways are basically right over the water. I don't want to say right over the water, but you know, you're landing very, very close to the water. And obviously having the view of Manhattan is pretty amazing as well. And just the entirety of New York City and all of its 8 million inhabitants. But something like this, or something like, you know, Bhutan, or what was the one we just did earlier, the one in Nepal, Lukla. That's truly epic, man. I mean, especially if you're doing it in a smaller plane, you feel all the bumps and the movements. In this giant plane, it's, you don't notice it quite as much. Alright, so we're killing the throttle. We're at full flaps. Can we do this? To come down a little bit more. 140 knots. Good.
500, 400, 300, 200, 100, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Yeah, we're bouncing. What am I doing wrong here? We'll come to a stop and see what the grade is, but I think I'm just coming in at too steep of an angle, perhaps, but I'm trying to avoid those trees. What am I doing? Yeah, we got a C, 418,390. You know, chat, it's getting late. It's been an hour and 20 minutes that I've been streaming so far. Not super long. But I'm pretty satisfied with the amount that I'm learning. Did I ace every challenge today? No. If we go back here to the landing challenges, we'll just kind of do a debrief of the challenges that we attempted today. If I scroll down a tad, the first one we did was Lukla. Now, it took me about 6 tries, 6 attempts, but we finally got the A on that one, so I'm satisfied there. Spending time in the sim in the Himalayas was quite nice. The Norwegian landing, we're going to revisit that. That one was tough. 22 knot crosswind, I believe, with limited visibility. Plus, it was taking so long to get to the airport. You know, it was taking 8, at least 6 to 8 minutes, which for someone with someone who's trying to keep the stream entertaining, that is a long time to go from spawning in to the challenge to actually getting to the airport. It's understandable, you know, you want to make the adjustments necessary on your approach. However, that was just taking too long, but we will revisit it. Promise. And then Tegucigalpa in Honduras. This one I'm going to need to revisit as well. You know, if I hadn't taken 6 tries to get the A at Lukla, I would have spent a little more time, perhaps, in Norway or Honduras here. I think I'm more interested in revisiting this Honduras landing more than I am the Norwegian landing, just because it's much easier to... takes less time to get to the airport in the Honduras challenge. But some future ones to look forward to. Saba in the Caribbean Netherlands. I don't think I've ever heard of the Caribbean Netherlands. I know, what is it, Suriname and some of the Caribbean islands. I know they speak Dutch. if I'm not mistaken, but that looks pretty cool. It looks like a very, very short runway with immediate danger on both ends. We got St. Bartholomew in the French Antilles. That looks beautiful. What else we got here? At some point, we could try this glider in Sweden. I know nothing about gliders, so that would be tough. Looks like you get one little wheel to land on. Tried the Norwegian one. Bugalaga, we got to do that. But then again, if we do that, then I'm not gonna be able to say Bugalaga anymore. You know, Bugalaga, Bugalaga, Bugalaga. It's too much fun to say. Yeah, and then I definitely want to revisit some of the attempts, some of the challenges where I've scored a C. You know, I'm trying to get an A in every one. Miramar, we got to try that at some point again. In the, I believe that's the F-18, right? The Super Hornet. We got to be on that one. But there's just so much to choose from, man. I'm excited to try some of these strong wind challenges. I don't think I've done any of these. Donegal in Ireland. I believe that's in the northern part of Ireland somewhere. Perhaps Northern Ireland? No, I think it's part of the Republic of Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway. Funchal in Portugal. That looks pretty cool. That's in the Airbus. I don't know what this plane is. We'll check that out at some point. Let's just have a look, actually. Beechcraft Bonanza. I've heard those are pretty cool. What else do we have in the strong wind category? Gibraltar. United Kingdom. Gibraltar. What? Spain. British Overseas Territory of Gibraltar. Is that still a thing? I swear to God, Spain owned Gibraltar. That's so weird. Interesting. Hey Siri, is Gibraltar part of Great Britain? Overseas territory of the United Kingdom. I did not know that. Boy, you know what? Not only am I learning more about flying, but I'm learning more about the world. The more you know. Definitely going to try that at some point. That's in an Airbus. Holy mackerel. And then you got, I believe this is the Rock of Gibraltar right here or something like that. That is an absolutely incredible looking runway. What else we got here? Innsbruck, Austria, Österreich. In a Boeing 747. That is going to be terrifying. Queenstown, New Zealand. In the Cessna CJ4. I've been to Queenstown. It is definitely beautiful. Seemingly a very difficult place to land. Sedona, not too far from where I currently live. Beautiful. I've landed there in a Cessna 172 about a month ago. Nanwalek in, it looks like Alaska. A lot to look forward to. If you guys like the video, hit the like button down below. Leave a comment. If you have any suggestions of what I could do in Microsoft Flight Simulator, let me know. Open to suggestions. I do have a video series that I'm working on. I've already released the first 2 episodes. New York to London in a Cessna 172. Go check those out. Hit the notification bell if you want to get notified when I release a new video. Feel free to become a patron on my Patreon. Through my Patreon, patreon.com/Beacon of Light. Trying to afford myself a proper flight sim setup, a yoke and rudder pedals, and a throttle. And that way I can slowly add to my repertoire that I'm gaining from the sim that should hopefully then translate in one way or another to real life, where I aim for and plan on getting my private pilot's license at some point. So anyway, guys, if you liked the video, like I said, hit the like button. And until next time,